Hi, Robin Miller, RACER.com, Marshall Pruett, RACER.com, RACER, JR Hildebrand. We're talking about the last race of the year at Fontana, California. JR will be driving for Brian Hurta's team, the Barracuda boys. And we've already talked about how much pressure there is on him, because if he doesn't beat OTA and get that leader circle spot, it only cost Brian Hurta $1 million. But what I really like about you getting a chance there is you ran good there for Panther last year.
Yeah.
And it just, I think it must be kind of fun when you know, hey, I can go for it. There's no pressure. I'm just trying to go as fast as I can.
Yeah, we've got to go do a good job. We have to. There's a chunk of points that we need to get one way or the other. So, it'll be exciting. It's an exciting race. It's a long race. Last year being everybody's first time there was, trying to figure out where you could run on the track and all that kind of stuff. We were sort of one of the first to the party, running all the way up on the high side. That proved to be quite effective. I think everybody's sort of caught on to that now. So, it's going to be difficult going back. But from everything that I've heard, the tire this year is going to be a little bit better, last a little bit longer. Hopefully that allows for cars to run more different lanes on the track so that you don't get jammed up with there being kind of one preferred line. And it'll be an exciting race. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be exciting.
Marshall, we were giving Dixon some static because he's like, Chevy had such a good test and Elliott was so fast. I do remember going to Pocono, and Chevrolet kicked everybody's butt in qualifying, and Honda stomped them in the race. What do you expect?
I would say that the biggest thing we saw at Pocono was fuel mileage. Not just horsepower, but actual fuel mileage. So that is something that I think they are going to, among the Honda teams, can they hold on to that? We know Chevy's been working a way to match that. We also know that from a handling standpoint, the Ganassi cars have been really good. Elliott was just in a different gear. It's like he had 3 turbos during the test. So that's something people are going to be looking for. We have a manufacturer's battle that's going down to the final race.
9-9?
Yeah, whomever wins it wins the whole thing. We also have, as we spoke about, the battle to get into the leader circle, who's going to make the top 22. And we have Elio, who now needs to make up 25 points. He has not been a guy who traditionally is good at handling big pressure like that to come back. So there's a lot of storylines going into Fontana.
JR, we've had 4 new winners this year in IndyCar. You had the Indy 500 in your grasp. You've always been pretty fast on ovals. Do you think... Barracuda was pretty quick there last year too.
Yeah, they were.
It's hard for somebody to just come in and only run a couple times a year, but 500-mile races even things out.
Yeah, with that type of thing for us going into it, it's going to come down so much to preparing for there being a variety of situations during the race, and at Fontana, just like at Indy or frankly, Texas, even the shorter mileage races, you got to just get to the end, kind of. You got to be on the lead lap. You got to have a decent car. You got to work on the car through the stints. Fontana last year wasn't as bad as Texas in terms of running into the nighttime with the cars changing a bunch. They kind of just, everybody's car got a little bit better as it got darker. But that's something that we haven't really dealt with that much this year. So, I think we can show up there with a good package for sure, because the team's been good there in the past, and I obviously had my act together last year for the majority of the race.
Majority.
But, I think it's really going to come down to another one of those races where you're working backwards and just trying to, have the positioning to be there at the end.
Marshall, when you look at this race and you think about the season we've had, a lot of great racing, I give Fontana props. It's an ISC track, but they seem to want to make the IndyCar race work. Randy Bernard moved it back to October. We're not probably going to have 105-degree temperatures. They're thinking about moving the race back a half an hour so the sun's not in everybody's eyes. I think they're trying to make it work in a tough place.
I think it's a great place to go racing, and also it's a little bit of a wild card, right? Instead of having your season finale on a street course where that half the guys are going to get taken out or have something silly happen, which is what we saw this weekend, you can go in and there's still a bit of a crapshoot, though. Who's going to blow up? Who's going to be reliable? Who isn't? Did Penske know that they needed to replace half of Will's car to get him back out to vie for the championship? No. So you can say, yeah, it's a pure way to finish the season.
The hell with college football on Saturday night, October 19th. Or at least DVR the race, because it was a hell of a show last year, and it had a red flag, which we'd never seen in an IndyCar race, so we could have a flying finish. And Ed Carpenter, I reminded him, I did pick Ed Carpenter to win last year. Unfortunately, I didn't bet on him. Thanks for reading RACER magazine. Thanks for reading RACER.com. Cheer for American JR Hildebrand at Fontana. See you later.